Picture someone in your life who's obsessed with football. I'll give you a second. Are you thinking about it? Who are you thinking about?
My dad.
Okay. Now what if I said, I'm that someone in your life who's completely obsessed with football? Would you believe me?
No.
Yeah, the general consensus might say no. However, a new realm of the NFL has entered the playing field. Get it?
Yes.
In recent years, and has ultimately changed NFL culture. And that realm is WAGs. For those of you who live under a rock, wives and girlfriends. Not you, you knew. This is where my obsession begins. Throughout the history of the NFL, wives and girlfriends have existed mainly behind scenes. Fans would see the camera pan to them during a game, but beyond that, they remained private figures, as did the nitty-gritty of their relationships with their husbands. But then, social media came into play. And that has completely swooshed any form of privacy right off the field. Swoosh?
Oh, like Nike?
Yes, thank you. With the help of social media, NFL WAGs have become influencers, advocates, podcasters, entrepreneurs, and public figures with audiences that more often than not reach millions and millions of people worldwide. This obsession with the NFL, WAGs, and the pop culture side of the sport led me to developing my research question, which is, how has social media shaped the visibility around WAGs, and more specifically, how do NFL WAGs use their association to build personal platforms and careers? To answer this loaded question in short, social media has not only shaped the visibility around WAGs, but it has completely transformed the NFL as a whole. These women now have the power to shape their family's brand, influence fan and team culture, act as a voice for their followers, and contribute to the future of the NFL, not only as a league, but as a culture and lifestyle. This topic really stood out to me when choosing what to teach everyone, because it directly extends off of my intersections assignment, which was about parasocial relationships in the NFL. In the era of social media, parasocial relationships are more prevalent than ever within every corner of society. I would like to argue that parasocial relationships with NFL players are primarily shaped by the content that their other half produces. Prior to this era, football fans would only really interact with their favorite athletes during post-game interviews, media appearances, or during the game itself. Now, fans have access to nearly every part of the athlete's life through content shared by their partners, whether it's travel vlogs, family moments, gender reveals, honeymoons, or even everyday errands. We're able to see it all. As I began researching this sudden shift in the league that came as a result of the social media boom of the 21st century, I began seeing an interesting pattern emerging. The story here is not about WAGs utilizing social media to grow a platform. It's about how WAGs are completely reshaping the NFL as a whole. One example who's completely changing the game is, there's so many, is Allison Kutch, who's married to former NFL player Isaac, I don't know if it's like Rochelle, I'm assuming Rochelle, I don't know. Allison has used her platform the last few years to speak out about her experiences with postpartum depression, marriage, and motherhood as a whole. When I first followed Allison years ago, I had no clue that she was with Isaac because I was genuinely entertained by the content she was producing. However, for some, this isn't the case. Her content allows Isaac's fans to access personal experiences in their lives together that football broadcasts could never capture. This is just one example of the emotional connections formed between fans, athletes, and everyone in their lives. Another example of this is with Alex Earl. When she first started dating Braxton Berrios, I found myself completely locked in on all of her videos. She would document her travel days, game day outfits, beauty routine, and her partnerships for each game. I found myself watching every single second of these videos and being genuinely entertained. Not a second of the content that I was consuming was about actual football, but it made me extremely invested in football. This shows the current shift happening in the NFL. Fans are no longer interested in just the team, they want to follow the lifestyle. And that lifestyle can include a wide range of things. Of course, there's upper echelon wags like Giselle, or I guess former wag, sorry Tom, Haley Steinfeld, and Simone Biles, just to name a few. However, many women have utilized their platforms to showcase their talents and support the things that matter the most to them, such as Kristen Juszczyk, who started posting videos where she would transform her husband's old jerseys into custom fashion pieces. This led to the launch of her own clothing brand, Off Season, which has since directly partnered with the NFL. There's also Kelly Stafford, who has used her following to advocate for women's health and medical research after her scary experience with a brain tumor and surgery. And not my favorite, but Brittany Mahomes, who helped found the Kansas City Current, which is part of the National Women's Soccer League, and more importantly, contributed to the development of the first professional stadium built only for women's sports in Kansas City. These women are completely transcending the game, and honestly, the term WAG becomes a little insulting and belittling at this point. These women are entrepreneurs, advocates, public figures, and on top of it all, they're all best friends. And what doesn't scream lifestyle, influencer, and oh my gosh, I want to be just like her, more than girlhood? Not to talk about my favorites too much, but the San Francisco 49ers are the best example of this phenomenon in real life. The WAG community associated with the team is extremely tight-knit. For starters, Kristen Juszczyk and Claire Kittle have their own series together called Wifed Up, Mic'd Up. The two best friends constantly are with other Niners WAGs like Olivia Culpo, Rochelle Ayuk, and Sydney Warner. They attend events together, support one another's brands, and appear in one another's content. Oh, there they are. So adorable. Just this past season, I found myself fascinated by watching new partners socialize and become part of this Niner gang girl group, I guess. The new additions included Ricky Parasol's girlfriend, Tori Moraga, and Nick Bosa's girlfriend, Ella Iliff, who were seemingly welcomed into the group with open arms. And you know that I followed them both as soon as the hard launch hit my feed. So there's Tori, and that's Ella, and that's Claire. This just goes to show that these women have the capability to curate their own cultures and even ecosystems within the NFL fan base. 20 years ago, that would have been practically impossible. These women are helping the NFL expand its audience and redefine what culture even looks like. One interesting tidbit came from Tim Ellis, the Chief Marketing Officer of the NFL. There he is. He discussed how the league intentionally works with female ambassadors to strengthen connections with female audiences. Women make up half of NFL viewership, so clearly engaging with them is a major priority for the league. WAGs act as an extremely useful tool in this situation. Agent Paul DeSisto, there he is, represents Hannah Ann Sluss and Sydney Warner, and he described the sheer reach that these women have been able to accomplish in just a few years. He noted that Hannah Ann, oh, there's Sydney, but yeah, there's Hannah. Hannah Ann had partnerships with Verizon, an official partner of the NFL, Barefoot Wine, which is owned by Gallo, the official wine of the NFL. This was fascinating to me because it truly encompasses the power of the WAG. Both Hannah Ann and Sydney come from reality TV backgrounds. Because of this, their content appeals to football fans, reality TV fans, fashion fans, food fans, and lifestyle connoisseurs all at once. This made me realize that the ever-changing NFL culture is aiming to extend far beyond football itself, and as I previously mentioned, it's a lifestyle. In many ways, football has become a gateway into a much larger world of entertainment, lifestyle content, and influencer culture. I've started noticing this overlap everywhere. One example was with Miami Swim Week. As I watched coverage from the event, I realized that many of the Sports Illustrated models walking down the runway were women I already followed online. Some were NFL WAGs, some came from Bachelor Nation, and others came from reality TV. Others were influencers, some were from Dancing with the Stars universe, but they all seemed to exist within the same social circles and attended all of the same events. This shows how the current influencer landscape is heavily dominated by three groups: NFL personalities and WAGs, Bachelor Nation alumni, and Dancing with the Stars contestants and professionals. These communities constantly collaborate and share audiences. This was the picture that shocked me. There's a lot of Dancing with the Stars people, Bachelor people, Mormon people.
Oh.
Crazy. At first, this all seemed random to me. I was not sure of its exact connection to this project, but eventually I realized it was helping answer one of the biggest questions we discussed in our textbook. Does sport shape society, or does society shape sports? The answer appears to be both. Oh, cute little Claire and George picture to sum it up here. Sports are no longer separate from entertainment, influencer culture, fashion, reality television, or social media. Instead, they have become deeply interconnected. NFL WAGs sit right at the center of that intersection. What started as football relationships has evolved into a network of influencers, entrepreneurs, and celebrities who help shape trends, conversations, consumer behavior, and even the way people experience sports. In many ways, football is no longer a sport. It has become a lifestyle. Yay!
Wow, that was very informative. I learned a lot. Thank you.
You.